Hey, it's 3/18/23 still. I'm back home. I kind of pussed out. It was way too cold out there. It's not quite spring yet. Beautiful light and everything else. I hope I got some good time lapses going, but it was just really cold wind and it didn't get up to the temperature they said it was going to today. So I'm back home and I'm shooting videos where it's warm. So yeah, big update. I haven't posted in a while, but I got big news. I got a new computer coming. Not here yet. I'm still shooting. I got my old monitors, my old tower down there. But it's on the way. Hopefully this thing should be a 4K editing monster. I'm assuming, I'm praying, But we'll see what happens when it actually gets here. So it's shooting on a 2.0 quad core, 16 gigs of RAM and an RX 580. Stop laughing. Just cheap monitors, a 1080p and I think my photo editing monitor is like 720. The new one is an i7 8-core 4070 Ti. It's a beast of a freaking card. 32 gigs of RAM and spots for multiple SSDs. So this thing should be a beast. Anyways, the reason I got it is because I've been using Vegas Pro 15 for the past few years, doing my video editing and my multi-track audio recording. With the R5, it's shooting H.265 videos. Vegas Pro 15 just doesn't like those. So I'd have to convert them, and then that was just an extra step. But Vegas Pro 20, though, I noticed plays the H.265s no problem. So I upgraded to that. It runs really slow on this computer, but I won't be using it. That's why I got the new one coming. God, I can't wait. The other thing I'm excited about, the other reason I upgraded to Vegas Pro 20 is I could render in 4K. So cross your fingers because this vlog should be my first one rendered and uploaded in 4K on YouTube. We'll see what happens. So a few things you should understand before we get into my test. Anything marked D, as in 8KD, 4KD, is short for DCI. This is full 8,000 pixel resolution. So it's 8,192 by 4,320, or if it's 4K D, it's 4,096 by 2160. Now what happens is it changes the aspect ratio that you can view this video and actually puts black bars at the top and bottom. Anything marked U as an 8KU or 4KU is UHD, where it would be just under 8K resolution. So you're looking at 7680 by 4320. This puts it back into the 16:9 aspect ratio and it can be viewed in full screen without black bars on it. The R5 has multiple card slots. It has card 1 and it has card 2. Card 1 is the CFexpress card. Card 2 is the SDXC. Both cards do not accept the same video. SDXC, for the most part, will shoot IPB at 24 frames. Or you can do 4K 60 in IPB. Anything else you want to be using the CFexpress card, card 1, SD being card 2. So if I mention that in the video, just keep in mind that's what I'm talking about. So RAW video, which you get with only the 8K, can only be shot on card 1, the CFexpress card. 4K 60 and anything above IPB, which basically you get all I because there's no 4K RAW. But 4K 60 all I has to be shot on the CFexpress card as well, unless you're using IPB like I said. Now C-Log is interesting. I did a lot of research on this. The gist that I got is C-Log 1 is for darker sets, right? So if you got like a lot of highlights, kind of like here, I don't have a lot of highlights. I got my main light here lighting me up and then a little bit of ambient lighting in the back on the desk. I would call that a darker set, and I would use C-Log 1. If I was outside and broad daylight at noontime, you might want to think about using C-Log 3 because it's better for restoring highlights. And the other thing you want to keep in mind with C-Log, using any C-Log that for that matter, is there's base ISOs that you need to adhere to. So I think C-Log 1 is 400 ISO and C-Log 3 is 800 ISO. So just keep that in mind when you're shooting, because you don't want to be underexposing C-Log footage. Aside from RAW, there's all I and there's IPB. Now, according to the Canon handbook, this is something I never understood until just recently. All I is for editing, whereas IPB would just be for quick file sharing and just get things posted quick, you know. I always shot in IPB when I was shooting with the 80D. You had the choice of all I or IPB. There was no RAW in the 80D, obviously, but I only did it just to save space on the cards, you know, because I was shooting photos too, and it's only one card in the damn thing. So I'm kind of curious what that 80D all I actually looks like. I want to go back and test that. Okay, 8K RAW. 8K RAW will work on crappy computers. You can make it work. I have like 3 or 4 different ways you can try. Well, 2 main ones that I know work, and then 2 that I haven't tested yet, but I'm pretty sure they will. But we'll get to that later in the video. But yes, you can run RAW, but it comes with compromises, serious compromises. So for my tests, I didn't shoot anything in the light compression, so no RAW light and no IPB light. I also didn't shoot anything in 29 frames or 50 frames or 120 frames. Nothing of that nature. What I did shoot though, I tested between both cards to see if they would work. So first I tested the 8K RAW DCI, and the only card it works on is the CFexpress card, of course. You can also do 8KD all I and the CF. Bottom line is the CFexpress card will handle anything in the camera. The SDXC card is limited. 8KU, same thing. No all I, but you can do IPB. 4K, D and U, no all I, 60 frames. 24 you can do in all I. And you can do 60 in IPB. So the 4K HQ can do that to the SD in all I and IPB in both DCI and UHD. So that's pretty good. I mean, if you're looking to shoot 4K HQ, you know, you're all set with the SDXC. It's pretty much it. The reason for the testing really was I wanted to see how they would work in my video editor. You know, which one was working best, which ones worked the crappiest, which ones gave me the best quality, which ones, you know, gave me good enough quality, how well they ran in the video editor. But now I've updated the video editor and computer, so it's going to be a whole different set. But I still got all the test videos. There's probably about 30-something videos I shot all together just testing this. So what did I like? What was my favorites out of the bunch? Well, I like the 8K and 4KU all I 23.9 frames with the C-Log. It's great stuff. You get some great footage off of that. I got no complaints. The RAW, can use the RAW. RAW is very time consuming, and the flexibility you actually, the limited flexibility you actually get with it, it's just not worth using unless you're doing some kind of professional production shoot. There's no point in shooting RAW. There really isn't. I can't seem to find one. But we'll get to that later on, and like I said. So what didn't I like? Well, for one thing, the rolling shutter on the R5 is bad. It's bad. I thought my 80D was bad with it, but yeah, that R5 is, boy. I don't know if it's that big 45 megapixel sensor, but yeah, it's not good. And when you start mixing with LED lights, kind of like I got here, lighting me right now, yeah, it's really bad. You can see it in my test videos. Look for like the straight lines on like the tools in the background and stuff. When the camera's panning between them, you'll see like a little, like almost like the light warbling kind of. And it's just, I don't like that. I mean, that's how it goes with digital cameras, basically. Shell out for a global sensor if you don't like that, I guess. But hey, I mean, other than that, the video is freaking amazing. As long as you don't like pan sideways at all, you're good to go. Yeah, the RAW workflow is just not anything that I'm going to be using regularly, by no means, you know. If I had some kind of project or something maybe that I was doing, yeah, you know, if I was like shooting a short movie or something, maybe RAW would be a good idea, you know, because the only thing that you can really do with RAW that you can't do with all I or IPB is change the ISO. That's it. Maybe it's just me. Maybe there's better video editors out there. Maybe Premiere Pro does something special with RAW. I don't know. But color temp, you could do that after the fact. Sharpening, color corrections, grading, whatever. Why do you need RAW? Well, if you were shooting like all day long or something, and your lighting changed throughout the day because you had some natural lighting helping, yeah, maybe you're going to want to be able to change the ISO later on to make your later on footage match your original footage, you know, things like that. Matching one camera to another camera, you know, you play with the ISO, you can get the exposures pretty much equal. Things like that, yes, you would definitely want RAW. For Critter Cam, like I'm using, I don't need it. I really don't. It's just a whole extra step in the workflow, and that's something I'm trying to cut down. That's why I bought the new computer, so I don't have to make all these 4K proxies and converting and get rid of all that crap. I'm not knocking RAW video. It's absolutely the most amazingly beautiful freaking video you can get off a fucking camera. I mean, it's just uncompressed. It's just the drawback is the workflow. Do I want the image quality or do I want the fucking hassle? You know? There's no magic with RAW. You know, there's not some kind of like special slider that you're just gonna adjust it and all of a sudden you're gonna be like looking like Peter Jackson fucking films and shit, you know? It just doesn't work like that. You can adjust your ISO to fix your exposure to match other cameras or match other footage, you know? That's about it. If you're one of those people who are just like, yeah, fuck you, Dave, I like RAW, I'm gonna use it, but my computer's a piece of shit. Well, my computer's a piece of shit too, so I figured out a few ways. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is get yourself a program called Cinema Raw Development from the Canon website. And it's a little tricky to find, but it's on there. And what this is going to do, it's going to allow you to convert your RAW files into either EXR or I believe it's DXP. I can't remember. I forgot to look that up before I started recording this. And what those EXR and the other one is image sequences. So it turns your entire RAW video into a sequence of still images. Now what you can do, and a lot of video editors, I know Vegas will do it, I believe DaVinci Resolve will do it as well, you can take these image files, put them back into a sequence at one frame, at 24 frames per second basically, or 30 frames per second, whatever your preference is, render them back into a video of your choosing, depending on which editor you're using. So if I put it into Vegas, I can convert them into a ProRes file. ProRes is a good one to do because it's still a nice big file and you got lots of information to work with. So Cinema Raw Development, convert it to EXR, to Vegas, into a ProRes file. Then from there I could work with it in Vegas Pro and just use it like a regular file, and it's, like I said, still a nice big file with lots of info to work with. The other method is use DaVinci Resolve to convert the RAW file to either AVI or MP4, which I would recommend the AVI. It seems to be a little bit more detailed and crisper image, and the MP4 is just a little soft for my tastes, honestly. Both of these, by the way, the Cinema Raw Development and the DaVinci, are both free downloads. Despite the fact that they both say that they need higher system requirements to use, you can open them. You won't be playing these RAW files. Alright, you try playing them, all you're going to see is a slideshow and some audio playing. Yeah, you're going to get like one frame per every 6-7 seconds. Once they're converted, yes, then you can play them. The Cinema Raw Development to EXR, that's a little bit tricky and it's very, very time consuming. That Cinema Raw Development program is slow, I will tell you what. I mean, and that's on my piece of shit 2.0 quad core here, you know. The DaVinci is quicker, but the AVI and MP4 files, they're small files and they're really compressed, you know. They're workable, not as high a quality. So it's kind of a, you know, kind of a toss-up which one you actually want to go with. Another method I was thinking, bonus method, DaVinci to EXR to Vegas, which if you don't have Vegas, you're not doing this one, but once it's in Vegas, then convert it to ProRes. I might try it just to see if it works. You know, I mean, all the other methods, they definitely worked on this computer. I mean, I can show you the video. There is a fourth method as well. I haven't tested it. I haven't had it work yet because it won't open with my computer as it is. I need my other one to even try it. Canon DPP has a raw movie tool in it. What it does, I'm not exactly sure because, like I said, I couldn't open it, but that is another method. If you do have the computer that will handle it, there is some pretty high system requirements for it. Try it. Tell me what you think. I'd like to know. So the interesting thing that I never realized is it's kind of the same as photos, right? When I got into photography, raw photos, which is the straight information off the sensor, there was TIFFs, which were large files with lots of info that are, you know, for editing or for printers to read or just for archiving them. And then you had JPEGs, which were for transferring across the internet, posting on your Facebook and sending to your friends through texts, and a quick little photo you could share about. And it's kind of the same with video compressions. You got the RAW, which is the straight information off the sensor. You get the all-I, which is for the editing and the archiving and the being read by different editors. And then you get the IPB, which is for sharing real quick files. And I thought that was kind of interesting myself. I had never really realized that. But so my kind of final thoughts on the whole subject. Not my final thoughts. Closing factoids. I wrote that, huh? Closing factoids, here we go. So the R5 shoots H.265 codec. Vegas Pro 15 that I've been using would not recognize it, but Vegas Pro 20 will. And I'm happy about that. I'm just praying that this new computer is able to play 4K videos in the editor without making proxies. For 8K, yeah, I'm definitely going to have to make some proxies. That's not a big deal, but 4K, I just hope I could take it right off the camera here, slap it in the freaking computer, and right into the editor, and just go to town, baby. That would be so sweet. Now, once I start loading up with multiple 4K videos in the timeline, though, you know, say like I got the R5, I got the GoPro, I got the drone video, I got, you know, 6K video from the freaking 360 cam. We'll see what happens once we get some load on the computer, I guess, but hopefully I can handle it, because this thing should be a beast. Other closing factoids here. 4K 60 is only on the CFexpress unless you're doing IPB. The 8K video rules on this camera, I love it. 8KU or 4KU, all-I, 23.9 frames with C-Log. Mwah! Great stuff, I tell you what, man. RAW, I'm not really down with, you know. It's good, don't get me wrong, it's good stuff, but too much work. If I buy a cinema camera someday, which I would like to, and I guess they primarily shoot in RAW, then yes. I mean, it's good to know that I am prepared for that, you know, if I ever do buy one of these. But for what I'm doing now with the vlog, I need a critter cam, you know. So I'm almost leaning towards getting another R5 just for that purpose. But I'm gonna need some more lenses too then, of course, right? Shit. The 4K HQ, I actually, from what I saw, I like the 8KU better. It just looks more crisper, and of course you could zoom right in on that. It's still amazing looking footage, but I'd rather go with the 8K, which just looks that much better. Now 4K HQ versus 4KU. 4KU! I love saying that. They made that for me, I swear to God. 4K HQ versus 4KU. Yeah, I'd like to check out that battle, see how that looks. That's something I didn't look into. I just thought of that just before I started recording this video. Oh, here's another good one. Storage is gonna be damn expensive. Oh, you better believe it, right? I mean, not only in like cards for the camera, but like storage on the computer. Once you start putting some 8K footage on there, yeah, because I'm going to tell you right now, a 120 gigabyte card gives you 12 minutes of 8K footage, and that's not raw. That's 8KU. 8KD would probably give you about the same, but yeah, you're getting 12 minutes. And that's at 24 frames. Your mileage may vary, you know, but so you're gonna really want to be shooting in clips. I don't think I've shot anything in either 8K or 4K off this camera so far that wasn't a minute and 45 seconds at the most. Everything is just short clips, you know, quicker to work on the computer. I would recommend getting a few smaller cards as opposed to one giant one, because one giant one, if that card shits the bed, you're losing everything, you know, and that would suck. I've never actually had a card go bad, I will say, and even with phones and stuff like that. I think I've had corrupted files, but I'd blame more like the camera than I would the actual card itself on that. I'd recommend like a 128 or a 256, you know, you gotta figure for every 128 gigs you're getting another 12 minutes, you know, so you're getting 12 minutes, you're getting 24 minutes, double that, you're getting 48 minutes, not to mention the computer storage as well. Once you take them off of there, you gotta put them on the computer until you're ready to edit them. Place to put them on the computer so it can quickly access them to run them well. There's a lot to take into account when you're shooting 8K and 4K video here. So the bottom line, I love the R5. It's fucking great. RAW, it's not for everybody. The only thing I'd say is just don't pan sideways when you're when you're shooting video. Invest in CFexpress cards too, seriously. See, I would go for like 128s and 256s. With 512s, you're going to be paying some moolah, you know, but there is the Angel Bird 512 that you can pick up. It's like 180 bucks, I think, at B&H. I heard that was a decent one, been recommended by a few different people. So the battery usage, I really haven't tested on this thing. I haven't really killed the battery. This one's getting pretty low right now, but I've been using it to shoot video and like all day long. So that's pretty damn good, you know. Took videos this morning of the ducks and photos of the duck, and shooting videos all day here. Filled up the 128 gig card, had to dump it into the computer. I haven't had any overheating issues, but I've only been shooting shorter videos. I think these videos I'm shooting here are probably the longest I've been shooting, and they're probably like, you know, 5-6 minute videos. Yeah, it's not even warm. Nowhere I could feel it's warm anyway. But I'm waiting on the new computer, and I can start working on getting everything installed and figuring out some kind of workflow and getting back to making these vlogs and get them posted, because like I said, today's 3/18, so it's been like over a month since I've posted a vlog, but I've been working so much on just these video tests. I kind of forego getting another lens. I've been saving up, I've almost had the money. I wanted to get one of them big freaking white telephoto Canon lenses, the f4s. Camera's getting newer, computer's getting older. So I had to do some upgrading. It was just no other way around it. I got the RX 580 in there, who like pretty much disables itself every time Windows updates. So for a 1080p system, it was great. You know, I was doing the 4K with the proxies. I was making it work. I was just scraping to get by. But I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna make me some dinner because it's getting late now. But just want to say thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Leave me a comment. Tell me I suck. Give me a thumbs up. I'll catch you in the next vlog. Later.
Dude. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Alpha Beaver.